After a long day of work, I fell asleep without even eating dinner. A day on the farm, as always, is exhausting. But at midnight, I was awakened by a roar. Not just loud conversations, but the bass of thunderous music that pounded the glass, making the walls shake. I jumped up, ran out into the yard, and froze. In the middle of my pasture, a party was going on. Lights, music, a crowd. And in the center, Karen, the head of the HOA, in a shiny dress, dancing by a decorative fountain, waving a margarita in a plastic. Behind her, there was a gaping hole. Part of the fence had been cut away. Right on the ground lay bolt cutters and shreds of wire. They had broken into my land as if it were a beach for a picnic. To understand the absurdity, you need to go back a little. I live on an inherited plot of land outside the city, next to barns, equipment, animals. The main pride was a Brahman bull named Cooper. He weighed almost 800 kilos, did not like noise, crowds, and the color red. At the same time, he was calm, even friendly, but Karen hated him. More than once, she shouted that she would send the stake to the slaughterhouse, threatened to take him away at night. I wrote everything down, passed it on to the police. The answer was the same: resolve peacefully. And the HOA took her side, declaring my bull a threat to the safe space. I had almost resigned myself until tonight. The music shook the air. Rubbing my eyes after a deep sleep, I looked at Karen, who was screaming into the microphone. The guests were crawling across the lawn. And then I remembered I did not close the barn. A low growl was heard. Cooper was standing on the edge of darkness. His nostrils flared, his eyes were shining. He felt the adrenaline in the air. A drunk woman with a glass came closer with a phone.
Hey cow, cheese.
She whistled and slapped him on the side. The bull shuddered, instantly turned around, kicked with his hoof. The glass shattered, the woman squealed. The crowd recoiled. He snorted, ducked his head, and jerked. The buffet was crushed. Tables flew across the path. Someone was yelling.
He's mad. Call someone.
Karen was rushing about.
Stop. This is a threat. This is an attack. Psychological sabotage. We'll sue.
I walked out calmly, whistling. In my hand was a bucket of feed. I whistled. Cooper froze, snorted, and slowly walked toward me. I threw him a handful. He stopped next to me like a dog. Karen stood before me, her dress torn, her hair disheveled, her eyes filled with anger.
You're finished.
I picked up the phone. You're right. This is the end. Unauthorized entry, property damage, security threat. It's all recorded.
You wouldn't dare do anything. You're a stupid idiot,
she hissed. Already, I replied, looking her in the eye. The next morning was strangely quiet. I reviewed the recording, making notes. My lawyer, having received the materials, was delighted.
This is gold. We'll bring everything. Trespassing, threats to life, damage to property, systematic harassment. This isn't just a lawsuit, it's the end of her career.
That same evening, more screenshots arrived. The HOA chat was ablaze. It turned out that half the guests were members of the association and furious. Karen's dive into an apocalypse simulator, live quest with a beast-style posts, caused a storm of condemnation. At an emergency HOA meeting, the official position was announced. Karen's actions were incompatible with her status. I received a letter of apology from the board and a formal complaint from the lawyer. The settlement offer included full compensation for damages, coverage of legal costs, a public apology, and a 2-year suspension of Karen from any management functions. I accepted the terms. The silence that returned the next morning was especially pleasant.